If you're already reeling from all the games in April, well, May looks even more unrelenting. Between the one first-person shooter that everyone is dying to play, there are indie platformers, action-adventure titles, that one roguelike action RPG everyone else is itching to play, and even some Gundam for good measure. So check out 15 of the biggest games launching in May of 2025. The Midnight Walk. A claymation adventure with stop-motion visuals unfolding in a dark fantasy world where you must protect a lantern being and its flame from monsters in the dark. Say what you will, but The Midnight Walk offers a solid premise, offering 5 tales of tense chases, puzzle-solving, stealth, and simply awe-inspiring visuals. The Midnight Walk launches on May 8th for PS5, PC, PlayStation VR 2, and Steam VR. Spirit of the North 2. Following the underrated original, Spirit of the North 2 again sees players venturing through a gorgeous open world as a fox. Your goal is to cleanse the Guardians and defeat Grimnir, a dark shaman, but each biome promises extensive secrets, including powerful runes and abilities. For those seeking a more laid-back adventure, Spirit of the North 2 launches on May 8th for Xbox Series X and S, PC, and PS5. The Precinct. Remember American Fugitive, which offered an old-school GTA-like experience? Well, The Precinct is from the same studio, but this time you're a police officer in Averno City, upholding the law. It's an intriguing twist, as tasks can range from ticketing vehicles to pursuing suspects in high-speed chases. With extensive degrees of crime, the ability to call for backup, and a living sandbox, The Precinct may live up to its inspiration when it launches on May 13th for Xbox Series X and S, PS5, and PC. Doom: The Dark Ages. Perhaps the month's biggest release, Doom: The Dark Ages is id Software's largest campaign to date, packed with new weapons, tools, enemies, including the cosmic horror variety, and mechanics. Between the sandbox nature of some levels, oodles of secrets, heavier story focus, and sleek cutscenes, more extensive difficulty options, and the incredible gameplay loop, it could end up an all-timer. The Dark Ages begins on May 15th for Xbox Series X and S, PS5, and PC alongside Game Pass. Roadcraft. After Expeditions, a Mud Runner game, Saber Interactive is taking the franchise in a different direction with Roadcraft. As part of a disaster recovery company with heavy machinery, your job is to repair bridges and roads, remove debris, and much more to effectively save the day. There are over 40 vehicles to operate and 8 maps available, but best of all, you can haplessly coordinate with up to 3 other players. Roadcraft arrives on May 20th for Xbox Series X and S, PS5, and PC. Mobile Suit Gundam Seed: Battle Destiny Remastered. Gundam games can be hit or miss, but you can't deny the sheer thrill of not knowing what's cooking next. Bandai Namco's next release is actually a remaster of the Japan-only PS Vita title, Mobile Suit Gundam Seed: Battle Destiny, with high-res visuals, difficulty adjustments, new control settings, and a revamped UI. However, the basic gameplay remains the same as players complete missions based on the anime, partaking in high-octane battles and unlocking new suits. It's out on May 22nd for PC and Nintendo Switch. Blades of Fire. With Souls-like mechanics, a massive fantasy world to explore, and in-depth blacksmithing mechanics, Blades of Fire is proving more than just a spiritual successor to Severance: Blade of Darkness.
My skin crawls.
Available on May 22nd for Xbox Series X and S, PS5, and PC, players control Aran, who ventures through the world battling the forces of Queen Nerea to end her tyranny. This requires forging one's own weapons, carefully tempering stats to fit your preferred playstyle, unlocking new recipes, and using the right tools against specific enemies. Anamusha II: Samurai's Destiny. After Anamusha Warlords return from the dead in all of its HD glory, it's now the sequel's turn. Jubei's journey through feudal Japan will retain the same level of challenge when it arrives on May 23rd for PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC. However, you can up the difficulty further with Hell Mode, where a single hit kills. For the more quality of life minded, you can now access various minigames from the beginning. Autosave is supported, and you can now control when the Anamusha form is activated. Deliver at all costs. Even without Konami publishing it, Deliver at All Costs looks like a delightfully chaotic action title with an incredible atmosphere. You play as a delivery driver, Winston Green, transporting all kinds of bizarre packages, including a bomb, by any means necessary. Pilot various vehicles or travel on foot, tear through fully destructible streets and escape angry citizens across 3 acts in 1959. Deliver at All Costs is available on May 22nd for Xbox Series X and S, PS5, and PC, and will also be free on the Epic Games Store for a week. Elden Ring Nightreign. Few developers could pivot from an immensely successful open-world Souls-like action RPG into a spin-off with battle royale and roguelike mechanics, but this is FromSoftware. Nightreign sees you venturing into Limveld, an alternate dimension version of Limgrave, after 3 days and 3 nights, and facing multiple bosses, and dealing with a moving ring of death. Even if it's not an offline experience, it's still unmistakably FromSoft and promises plenty of hardcore Souls-like action when it launches on May 30th for Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, PS4, PS5, and PC. Lost Soul Aside. The fact that development of Lost Soul Aside began 2 years before the release of Final Fantasy XV is wild. Now, over a decade later, it's finally coming to PS5 and PC as part of Sony's China Hero project. Its combination of character-focused action, which takes inspiration from the likes of Ninja Gaiden, and clean visuals still intrigues us, and we're keen to see how Kaiser's quest to save his sister will unfold when it launches on May 30th. Revenge of the Savage Planet. As a sequel to Journey to the Savage Planet, your purpose is simple: take revenge on the greedy corporate heads. There are multiple planets to explore this time around, with numerous locations, flora, fauna, and more, with co-op fully supported for another player. With new gear and extensive exploration options, Revenge of the Savage Planet looks to expand on everything that made the original so great. It's out on May 8th for Xbox Series X and S, PS4, PS5, and PC. F125. It wouldn't be a year without the usual slate of yearly EA titles, and F125 from Codemasters is no exception. The jury is out on how everything will feel, especially after last year's divisive handling changes. But Breaking Point returns with more player agency and drama, and My Team 2.0 promises new owner perks for greater specialization. F125 launches on May 30th for Xbox Series X and S, PS5, and PC, so there's plenty of time to learn more. JDM Japanese Drift Master. If Tokyo Extreme Racer wasn't enough, then JDM Japanese Drift Master may just be the ticket. Launching on May 21st for PC, it depicts Japan's street racing culture with an extensive open world to explore, dynamic weather and day and night cycles included, extensive customization of real-world brand cars, and, of course, plenty of drifting. There's even a story depicted through manga with over 40 events. Sonic Rumble. The good news, Sonic is getting a new game. The worrying news, it's a party battle royale title developed with Rovio of Angry Birds fame. For now, the visuals look bright and appealing, with up to 32 players partaking in modes like co-op battles to fight the Death Egg robot, or run battles with the classic Sonic mechanics. There is potential, but we'll see how it pans out when it launches on May 8th for iOS, Android, and PC. And that'll be about it for this one. If you guys like what we're doing at GamingBolt, please consider subscribing to our channel, and I'll see you guys on the next video.